Hi guys, Jupiter James here. Welcome back to my channel where I do what I want, when I want, and today I want to get into some astrology. More specifically, I want to get into my planetary in-depth series, and today we're going to get into Venus. Venus is the pleasurable, easy, graceful, beautiful, attractive forces in our nature. And so wherever I see Venus in a birth chart is going to be where the person has been extended grace and where they have been blessed with beauty in a certain theme or a certain area. And so let's get into what Venus means and what Venus represents and what Venus is all about in astrology. So Venus is one of my favorite signs. It's why I wore pink today and why, I'm looking a little bit more elegant than usual, because I feel like with Venus is all about pleasure. Venus is all about elegance. Venus is all about love and attractive forces and just being beautiful and pleasurable. It rules the sign Libra and Taurus. It also rules the houses, the second house and the seventh house of money and relationships. And who doesn't love money and relationships? You see, so that's why Venus rules these signs. So Greek mythology is very interconnected with astrology in my mind. I think that back in medieval times or whatever times when they were looking at the stars and they wanted to have stories to go along with the planets and the energy of the planets, they conceived gods, right? And so I feel like Venus is akin to Aphrodite and the goddess of love. And with the story of Venus or Aphrodite is that she was born from sea foam, and she was someone who was very childish and very pleasurable. Some would call her greedy, but she was more, in a sense, very just, she was after pleasure. Pleasure. She loved the finest of clothing and the finest of wines and the finest of pearls and the finest of things in life. And if that doesn't sound like a Taurus or a Libra, I don't know what does, right? Like, is Taurus not seen as a very quality-driven person? Is Libra not seen as a very, oh my God, where's the mirror? Oh my God, this is ugly. Oh my God, my appearance, right? Like, that's what Libra and Taurus exude, is the two octaves of Venus. Taurus exudes the octave of Aphrodite, and Venus is in the sense of security and quality things and food and material pleasures and earthly pleasures, whereas Libra exudes the airy qualities of Venus as far as like interconnection and relationships and being in relationship with people. And so if you have Venus in the first house, you are going to exude these qualities the most. You are going to either be a Taurus rising or a Libra rising, and you will have qualities of, maybe as a Taurus rising, you're probably going to be someone with Venus, or even if you don't have those two signs in those houses, say you have Venus in the first house and you don't have Taurus, you don't necessarily have to have Taurus or Libra in the first house. I'm just saying, if you have Taurus, Libra, or Venus in the first house, you are going to exude these qualities of probably being very graceful in your presence. You want to keep things very harmonious and fair between people. You probably don't want to rock the boat. You are going to be someone who, is very pleasurable to be around. You're going to be someone who people like to be around, and you're going to be very aesthetically pleasing to people and just very nice. You're going to be a nice person when you have Venus in the first house. You're going to be someone who does not want to rock the boat, and to get in an argument with you is going to be very hard, because you'd rather laugh it off and just smooth it over than to actually get into an altercation with someone, because Venus in the first house just will not allow you to do that. But yeah, as far as Venus in the first house or Venus in the birth chart just in general, wherever Venus is in a chart is going to show where the universe or God has blessed this person with grace and beauty. So say you have Venus in the 8th house, right? Venus in the 8th house is going to give someone grace as far as when they are transforming. They are someone who can transform like that. Like, they probably love transforming. They love the idea of transforming, whether it be their bodies or their minds. They will transform in this life, and they will also be someone who gains other people's resources very easily. Very Yeah, very easily. People just want to give them money. People want to buy them things, and without them trying. Again, wherever Venus is the sign of, or the energy of, you just get it. Like, people want to give you things or help you out. It's a very graceful energy. You don't have to put too much effort or work in order for the theme in which it's in order for it to be blessed upon you. So you know how with Mars shows the aggression. It says you have to work at this in order to get it, right? Like, if you put effort, you'll get it. But with Venus is just like, I get to sit back and people give me things. Like, that's what Venus in the 8th house would signify. Someone who, like, is easily able to attain other people's resources, and who, in the midst of chaos, in the midst of transformation, they are always okay, and they somehow get resources and they're just fine. Like, this also shows someone who would gain an inheritance. You see, it's like that. It's like, with Venus in the 8th house, this person just gets to live their life, and by the death of someone else, they get an inheritance. Like that. They're just living their life, kicking back, and their great-grandmother died, and now they have been blessed with riches and fortune. You see, it's like they didn't have to work at getting the money, because Venus was in that house of other people's resources and gaining other people's resources. And by that, their lives are transformed from that, right? And that person will go through transformations, but that transformation will not be painstaking. It'll be very easy. So that's just one example. Another example, Venus in the 10th house would be someone who, again, if they're never without a job, because jobs just come to them. Like, they don't really even have to go on interviews. Like, and if they do go on interviews, that job that they go on for an interview, they don't really have to go on too many interviews. Like, they are someone who people just want to work with. They are the most hireable human on the planet, because Venus is in their 10th house of career and work. And so it's not hard for them to find a job or for people to want to hire them. It's also not hard for them to excel in the corporate ladder, because, again, Venus extends grace and it extends beauty. So this is one of my favorite signs. Venus also rules the 7th house, and it rules the 2nd house. And if we get into the 7th house, which is ruled by Libra, which is then ruled by Venus, it's gonna be the energy of this person, or this birth chart is gonna show that, like, Venus is ruling the 7th house, because that is the house of interconnection and relationships. And this is what we want, right? When we think of Venus and love, we think of love. We think of me and you, and we get married and we have kids. And so Venus rules this, but it also rules business contracts. Anything involving you and someone else, Venus is involved, because it's an attracting force. It's something that needs to happen in order for two parties to come together, and that is ruled by Venus. 2nd house is ruled by money. Believe it or not, Venus rules money, because money equals what? It equals pleasure, it equals nice things, it equals comfort. And so with Taurus in the 2nd house that is ruled by Venus, it's gonna be giving the energy of, like, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and that's why they love beautiful things. That's why they are very pleasurable and just very, like, they want the finest of things in life. Like, I don't know which one is exuding more of the forces of Venus. Is it Libra or is it Taurus? Which one exudes the most qualities of Venus? Because they are both, like, the different sides of Venus, the different octaves. One is a little bit more grounded, which is Taurus, and yes, they want money and comfort and pleasure. And then the other one is more airy and, like, nebulous, and it's more of like, oh my God, I just want to relate. I just want a husband. I just want a wife. I just want to relate with people. I just want to be in partnership with people. Like, that is the more airiness of of Venus, right? It's the less grounded version, but it's still Venus at the end of the day. And so, I don't know. Venus is just one of my really favorite signs, because, again, wherever you see Venus in a birth chart, and I did an in-depth, I believe I did a Venus through the houses series. So this is more of an in-depth, me talking about the sign, talking about the planet, and the signs it governs and what Venus represents as a whole. So if you want to see or hear me talk about Venus through the houses and what Venus does in each house, go ahead and search for that on my channel, and I'll probably put a link of that on this channel so you can search for it very easily. But I went through all of what Venus does in each house. So go and find that if you really want to really get in depth into what Venus does in each house. But this was my Venus in-depth analysis. I hope this helped you in whatever way it could. Remember, I do birth chart readings, career analysis readings, destiny readings, all types of readings. I'm sure the stars have a message and a solution for whatever you are going through in life, and I would love to relay the message. Just hit my links below, and I'll see y'all on the next one, all right? Stay tuned. Y'all have a good one. Bye.